Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Danny, and this is my cajon that I just built. Something that I've wanted to build for a really long time, and I finally had a chance to do it. So I just kind of want to show you what I used and what I did to get the results that I got. So starting out, I used 3/4 inch plywood for the sides and the top and the bottom. And then I used an 1/8 inch Baltic birch veneered plywood for the tapas, which is the word that they use for the drum heads. So to construct the box, I used my stacked dado blade set on my table saw, and I made 2 rabbet joints on both the top and the bottom pieces, and then I used a bunch of glue and clamps and clamped it all together. Then once it was done drying, I used, I think it was a 3/8 inch round over bit in my router to take these edges off. That way it doesn't chip and it won't cut into my leg when I'm playing. So, and then for the back drum head or the back tapa, a lot of people use the 4-inch hole saw for the back. I don't have a 4-inch hole saw. I didn't want to go out and get one of the adjustable ones because they kind of freak me out, and I didn't want to spend the money. So another thing to note on this back side is that I use screws. A lot of people glue it or nail it in, and I wanted to be able to kind of fine tune it, and so that's why I decided on my drum to use screws. Also on the inside, I have 2x2s on the edges, just to kind of give it some more bracing and some more structure to the frame. I also put in an adjustable snare on this, so you can put the snare in like that. And you get that snare sound, or if you don't like that, you can take it off and kind of go with just a straight traditional cajon. So another cool thing that I did for the tapa is I wanted a nice tight, snappy rim shot sound, and so I did not put screws in either of the corners here, and I also used my trusty random orbit sander with 220 grit sandpaper. And I very carefully kind of sanded the edges. I don't know if you can see it, but it kind of created about a 1/16 inch gap here, and that kind of helps when you hit it, gives it that tight, snappy rim shot sound, which I wanted. So that's kind of basically how I built it. As far as the finish goes, that's really where I spent the most time. I used this Rust-Oleum dark walnut stain for the sides, the top, and the bottom, oil-based. And then I finished it off using this Minwax polyacrylic. And I like this stuff. I used it before on some other projects. I like it because it's durable, it dries pretty quick, and it's easy to clean. It's water-based, so you don't have to use paint thinner or mineral spirits to clean out your brush. Also, it doesn't have any of the really strong vapors that you get if you're using a lacquer product. So between each coat, I sanded down with a 320 grit sandpaper. Now it's important to note, between each coat, I did not use this guy, because this goes too fast and will burn through the finish and the stain too quickly. So I took an old, this was a sponge sander, and I just wrapped my sandpaper in this, and I did it by hand, and that kind of ensured that I wouldn't go through too far. So between each coat, I sanded with 320. Then after the third coat, I did my 320, then I followed it with the 360, and then I used these buffing pads. Now, finishing has always been my weak area. I have a tendency to rush the finishes, and so they never turn out smooth and glass-like, and I've just never really been happy completely with any of my finishes until now. So I did some research, looked some stuff up on YouTube, and this is what I found. And these guys, they replace traditional steel wool because with the polyacrylic finish, apparently you can't use regular steel wool because polyacrylic is a water-based product, and if you get one of the fibers stuck underneath the finish, it can rust. So we don't want that. So this guy is equivalent to a single-aught steel wool, and so after the 600 grit sandpaper, I used this, and I went over the entire drum. And then this guy, which is equivalent to a double-aught steel wool, again going over the entire drum by hand. I use this for each pad, just kind of like a sanding block. And then this guy really did some magic. I'm real happy with what this did. The sandpaper and these other two pads really smoothed it out, got rid of the orange peel and some of the the grooves that you get from using a paintbrush, and so it got it nice and flat, nice and smooth, glass-like, which is what I wanted, but they kind of got rid of the real glossy sheen that I wanted on this particular instrument. And this guy, I took my time and I used a lot of elbow grease, and this really helped bring that sheen back to life. I'm real happy with this process and the results that I got. I'll definitely be doing it again. So to finish it out, I used this Minwax finishing wax. I did 2 coats, and basically what it did is it just helped brighten the finish, helped make everything seem real shiny, and just help the instrument just really brighten up and pop. And so I'm real happy with that and the results that I got. So anyways, this is my cajon. Real happy with the results I got. I'd love to build more of these. It's pretty simple to build. But if you have any questions about what I did or how I built it or any of the products that I used, feel free to inbox me or message me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.